JD Vance has a generational lead right now in the 2028 polls, and he actually has the exact same lead that Trump had this time in the election cycle, if you can believe it, 4 years ago. And that goes both for the primary as well as the general election. So getting right into the data to show you this, here's the most recent polling that came out for the Republican primary. What you see is that Vance is at top, he's on top with 51.7%, and that's actually up 6% from July. I had predicted that this might go down as more and more people kind of started talking about 2028. It's going up right now for him, which is fantastic if you're part of the Vance and I think Trump team as well, because I think Trump wants Vance to be the VP. This is according to Emerson, who's been fairly accurate in the Republican primary polling in the past. Behind him is at 9.4%, which is like 40% less. And it's Rubio. And then you've got DeSantis a little bit below Rubio at 7.1%. Both of them have taken basically all of what Vance gained came from Rubio and DeSantis. And it's not surprising that those are the top three. The rest are frankly irrelevant in my mind. You've got RFK Jr., Haley, Ramaswamy, Cruz, Kemp, Gabbard, Youngkin, Noam. Some of them, not my favorite. Some of them I do like, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I just don't think that anybody is even going to really, they're not even going to be part of this campaign other than Vance, Rubio, and DeSantis. And even then, Rubio has come out and said that he basically endorses Vance. And I just think DeSantis is going to be the same way. I would love DeSantis to be in there. I think Rubio and DeSantis both have more skills and more experience under their belt. JD Vance doesn't do anything as VP. That's not him. That's just how VP works. They don't do anything. And then he was senator for 2 years. So he's got very little experience. Rubio, on the other hand, has been fantastic so far. And of course, he's been senator for forever. And then DeSantis is the most popular, the most, I don't even know how to say it, the most fantastic Republican governor that we've had ever in the history of America. I firmly believe that, just in terms of the policy he's gotten done for Floridians, but also in terms of how many Democrats he's convinced to be a Republican. So I would say Rubio and DeSantis are better, but that's irrelevant. I mean, that's not how people actually think. Right now, it's very clear that Vance is more popular. Here's what's so fascinating about JD Vance being at 52%, though. It almost perfectly mirrors where Trump was at this exact same time. You can see right here, we had polling in 2021, which again, if we're mirroring, that's the same timing in the election cycle as it is right now. We had this poll from McLaughlin and Associates. Trump was at 54% and DeSantis was at 11%. That's pretty dang close to what it is right now. YouGov Yahoo had Trump at 58%, DeSantis at 13%. Issues and Insight had Trump at 57%. And DeSantis at 12, and then Echelon Heights had Trump even a little bit lower than what what JD Vance is at right now at 47-9. 47-9. I mean, 9% is exactly what Rubio has. 47 is just under what JD Vance has. So JD Vance has actually unified the Republican Party as of now as much as Donald Trump. That's how crazy this is. I mean, a lot of question was out there of, when Donald Trump is done, is MAGA going to fall away? By the numbers right now, JD Vance is the clear successor to that, whether you like it or not, which means it's really hard to imagine a world in which anyone else could have a chance in the Republican primary. Because obviously, looking back at 2024, nobody had a chance of beating Trump in the primary. You had Nikki Haley for a small time, Ramaswamy, of course, and Ron DeSantis. But looking back, they never had a chance. And I think that's probably true for 2028, again, whether you like it or not. So looking nationally now, the Democrat Party and who JD Vance is going to take on is changing quite a lot. If you look at the same poll, this is also from Emerson, Newsom is now ahead. He is the front runner at 25.1%. And again, that is quite a large jump. He is up 12.5% from June. Most of that is being taken out, surprisingly, from AOC, who is my prediction. I thought she was going to be the Democrat nominee. She still could be. I have a hard time believing that Democrats are going to want the super straight, rich white guy. But again, Joe Biden was in there, so I could be wrong. But Newsom has some major momentum. Obviously, he's trying to troll MAGA. I don't think it's going particularly well amongst independents, but Democrats like it. He's obviously trying to fight people on the gerrymandering. I think that's a smart political move. I don't think it's going to be as successful as Republicans are going to be. But he's at 25%, and Buttigieg is close, not that close behind, but the closest behind at 16%, and then you have Kamala Harris at 11%. Outside of Newsom, Buttigieg, and AOC, I think no one else has a chance. I think that is going to be the top 3. Again, I'm skeptical Newsom will be in it, but it could be a JD Vance Newsom matchup. We do actually have a recent poll between JD Vance and Newsom, and this is what it looks like. What you see is that Vance is ahead by about 1%, and he actually has lost a little bit of ground among this pollster. This is still Emerson, who did the same polls as the others. And Newsom has made up a bit of ground. What's really important in this, though, is you can see at the bottom that 12.1% are not sure. So that's a big, big deal. So these are not conclusive by any means, but Vance is ahead right now, and that is very significant considering the fact that he is the incumbent. The incumbent matters. Even though he's not president, being vice president matters a lot. And the fact that he's ahead is massive. Once again, this is why it gets so interesting. These polls mirror Trump and Biden at the same time in this last election cycle. They actually did have a few election polls out there looking forward to 2024 because you had Trump and Biden who are both going to be one-term presidents. And again, we thought it was going to be Trump-Biden. It was going to be for a long time. Then he got replaced by Kamala Harris. In any case, you can see here that 2 of the polls were kind of flip-floppy, where Biden was way ahead, and then the other one, you had Trump way ahead. But if you look at Emerson, which again, Emerson is the pollster that has done all of these, so I try to stay consistent with the pollsters, what you see is that Trump is up 1% on Biden, 47 to 46, and that is exactly true for JD Vance and Gavin Newsom. That is fascinating, and 7% undecided, so a little bit different on there. So JD is in the exact same place as Trump was in 2021, which, hey, if you're a Republican, you're not mad about that because, again, Trump won, which is great news for them. We all have to remember as well that these are national polls, meaning this is the popular vote, and Republicans don't even need the popular vote to win in 2028. They need the Electoral College only. So this could be massive. This could be as big of an election in 2028 for Republicans as it was in 2024. Speaking of 2028, Scott Jennings over at CNN had the perfect encounter about Trump derangement syndrome and how it's going to affect people in 2028. Take a look.
Meanwhile, this guy, this should be the lead story, is clearly suffering from massive mental decline. He is out of his mind with all of the show and tell procedures that go on in the Oval Office. 2 days ago, he gave 3 press conferences in a row. And if you don't think he has dementia, let's just discuss the time that when he was on the campaign trail that he tried to perform oral sex on a microphone. If Joe Biden did this,
I hope this is what Democrats do next year.
ER.
If this is the Democratic strategy, congratulations, America. You've already reelected Republican majorities as far as the eye can see.
Yeah, because Trump's approval is in the low 30s. It's in the low 30s.
Scott laughed at her, and everyone should laugh at her, frankly, because for 4 years, Democrats did not just ignore Biden's decline. That wasn't what they did. They actually lied about it under oath at times. They committed perjury to protect the fact that Joe Biden was losing it. So much so right now, by the way, that they're also pleading the fifth when they're being, when they're testifying before Congress. They are literally coming out and saying, I don't want to talk about this, I'm pleading the fifth. Because they know they lied. Congress knows they lied. We all know they lied. And now what Democrats are doing is they're trying to pull out the same thing that Republicans did to them, but they're trying to do it to Trump. The only problem is that Donald Trump is aging quite normally. And by the way, Republicans should admit, yes, he's aging. He's aging normally. People like to point out that he looks much older. I've seen this on X a lot. That Trump looks a lot older than when he took office about a decade ago. Yeah, he's 9 years older, guys. No dip. I have no problem admitting that. Yes, he's 9 years older. Welcome to what aging looks like. It's not like Donald Trump is a vampire. Yes, he's aged over 9 years, but he's not going into cognitive decline like Joe Biden was. I mean, Joe Biden had full-on dementia. Stop lying and saying Donald Trump has dementia. Believe me, if I see signs of it, like we saw with Joe Biden, I will come out and say, let's pull out the 25th Amendment. Let's put JD Vance in charge. I got no problem with that whatsoever. I don't want a dead president like we had. I don't care if it's Republican or Democrat. And I think most Republicans agree with me, by the way. They're trying to act like he's like Joe Biden. He is not. I agree with Scott Jennings. I hope Democrats talk about weird things like that girl, like Trump doing stuff to a microphone, because voters hear that and they hear craziness. They hear absolute craziness. This lady saw Trump apparently speaking into a microphone and thought it was some sort of sexual innuendo. Obviously it was not. Most people know this. They just have Trump derangement syndrome. The Josh Carr Show is now on We the Free. Go check out We the Free, guys. It's a conservative streaming platform. They have a ton of Second Amendment content and political commentary that just can't be on a lot of big tech websites and platforms, as you'd imagine. So go check them out right now. It's fantastic. The link is in the description below. Wes Moore from Maryland, who, by the way, is on the short list for the Democrat nominee, was asked point blank if he wants help federally from Trump with how horrible Maryland crime is, obviously in Baltimore. It was really hard for him to say yes, but he finally did beg because Trump has done a fantastic job in D.C. Take a look.
Governor, I appreciate the investment, but it would just seem to me if despite that investment, Baltimore still ranks third in the nation in violent crime rate per capita in the nation, that you would welcome in the President of the United States' help if crime in Maryland. And as to the point of partisan politics, it's simply the truth. The truth isn't partisan. And the truth is most of the major cities in the United States are run by Democrat governors, and they're also the highest rate crime cities in the country. I'm on limited time, and I want to give you a chance to address something,
I would
though, Governor.
absolutely
Because President
welcome
Trump brought
federal
it up.
support.
Apparently, there we go. You would welcome federal support. That's wonderful to hear.
I would absolutely welcome federal
would be happy
support.
to hear that.
But I also know what federal support is going to be necessary and required.
So what's happening there is he is begging for the funding, but then simultaneously doesn't want to give the win to Trump, obviously. And that's the tightrope that he is on, and pretty much all Democrats are on, because he knows that Trump is crushing it in D.C., and we'll talk about the numbers in a second. But admitting that Trump is right when you want to be the Democrat nominee in 2028, kind of impossible. Kind of impossible. So you have to lie. That's what Democrats do. Trump taking over D.C.'s police department has been wildly successful, by the way, and the media is not covering this, so I want to cover it. The city had its longest streak in years without a homicide, which is fantastic. The D.C. mayor herself, who's a Democrat and like a radical Democrat, not just a, kind of in the middle liberal, but full-on leftist, admitted fully that crime has dropped 45% since Trump has taken over. 45% is massive. And she also reported that carjackings went down by 87%. So essentially, Trump, in a matter of weeks, has single-handedly almost eliminated carjackings from D.C. And here's the deal, guys. The formula is simple. It's not Donald Trump. It's really not. All you have to do is give, and what I mean, it's not Donald Trump. I'm just saying anyone could do this. I don't think Donald Trump's that special. You just have to give law enforcement some resources, and then you have to have a leader that actually believes in them and unleashes them. Because what's happening right now is you have law enforcement that knows their leaders hate them and does not want to give them the resources. And so they're literally fighting their leader and criminals. That's what they have to deal with. Now that Trump is in D.C., they don't have to do that anymore. When they have leaders like Wes Moore, they struggle. So the solution is actually not to have Trump in Baltimore. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, well, Trump's done fantastic in D.C. He should go to Baltimore, Chicago, New York, L.A. He actually has a legal right to be in D.C. because it's not a state. And as president, he has some jurisdiction over it. He really, under the Constitution, does not have jurisdiction over these other big cities. And so the solution is not for him to go to Baltimore or those big cities. I think that would be federal overreach. I don't want it. The solution is competent leadership that just supports their law enforcement. Like, it's not that complicated. That is something, unfortunately, Democrats are not capable of. The progressive left is a cult, guys. I talk all about it in my book, A New Cult. Go check it out right now. It's only $9.99 on Amazon. I had a fantastic time writing it. I know you'll enjoy it. The link is in the description below. Thank you so much for watching this episode, everybody. Please like the video so other great patriots like yourselves will see it, and you can watch another video right here.